Lin Jing and Yin Wanfei had not gone far after they started the chase. Lin Jing quickly realized that the five-colored flowing light he had left in the body of Qi Gui, the senior monk, had been cleansed. However, it didn't matter that the five-colored light was cleansed, because Lin Jing had already figured out Qi Gui's escape route. Seeing the direction he fled to, he was headed towards Black Xing Island. Qi Gui probably wanted to continue seeking refuge on Black Xing Island. There was no other choice, as there were no other islands nearby besides Black Xing Island that could provide shelter from the pursuit of Lin Jing and his companion. Now that they knew the destination, the task became easier. Therefore, Lin Jing and Yin Wanfei once again flew towards the direction of Black Xing Island. Along the way, Yin Wanfei, feeling impatient about their speed, couldn't help but complain. Our speed is just too slow. If only Brother Zhou's flying boat were here. After speaking, Yin Wanfei looked at the flawless sword under Lin Jing's feet with confusion. Brother Lin, how can you be so poor that you don't even have a decent magical treasure flying sword? You're at the golden core stage and still using a top-grade magic artifact flying sword. Could it be that the Nanming domain has fallen to such a state? Lin Jing turned his head, looked at Yin Wanfei with a helpless expression. Haven't you forgotten? I've only recently advanced to the golden core stage, so how could I have a magical treasure flying sword? Yin Wanfei then realized his oversight and scratched his head with embarrassment, saying, Look at my memory. I completely forgot about that. It's a common issue among us from the Green Illusion Demon Ox clan. I hope Brother Lin will not take offense. For Lin Jing, Yin Wanfei's forgetfulness was anything but surprising. Without further attention to him, Lin Jing quickened his pace and flew forward. Since leaving the Nanming domain, Lin Jing had first ventured on a mortal crossing island, and immediately after coming out, he ran into Yin Wanfei. Following that, he joined forces with Yin Wanfei and others on a mission. During this period, Lin Jing had no free time at all, and therefore, no time to acquire a magical treasure flying sword. Although Lin Jing had plenty of spirit stones on hand, and could indeed buy a magic artifact flying sword, it was nonetheless difficult to find one that he liked, as Lin Jing's flying sword had to be compatible with the Lingyin Yujianju technique. For now, the flawless sword was the most suitable, and he didn't wish to change it recklessly. If possible, Lin Jing still intended to collect some rare metals or ores and then find an artifact refiner to enhance the flawless sword. If all else failed, once he reached the second layer of the Divine Fire Triple Realm through cultivation, he could also use the blood refinement method to refashion the flawless sword and elevate it to a magical treasure level. Before long, the two had flown hundreds of kilometers over the sea. Yet at this time, they still had not encountered any trace of Qi Gui. The two then continued forward until a quarter of an hour later when they finally noticed something unusual. Right below them in the sea, several demonic beast fish were violently fighting each other, seemingly competing for something. The sea breeze carried with it a faint scent of blood. Apparently, someone injured had passed nearby. Lin Jing and Yin Wanfei first exchanged a glance, then nodded at each other. Without even needing to speak, they understood each other's intention. Then, the two of them rode the sea breeze toward the source of the bloody scent. After a while, the two finally felt intense fluctuations ahead where someone seemed to be fighting. And so, Lin Jing immediately expanded his divine sense to probe ahead. With this probe, he indeed discovered Qi Gui. Qi Gui was currently in a standoff with a cultivator. The cultivator he was facing was someone Lin Jing also recognized. It was Zhang Jian, who had been trying to purchase Yan Shuishui to take her on as his disciple. It was unclear, however, why the two men were confronting each other. Moreover, Lin Jing could clearly sense that Qi Gui's wounds were much more severe than before, and the black fog shrouding him had also thinned considerably. Gasping for breath, Qi Gui was fixated on Zhang Jian across from him. Zhang Jian, on the other hand, was no better off. His body had several corroded wounds, deep to the bone, which looked terrifying. His flying sword was also dim and lusterless. Clearly, the two had fought each other to exhaustion. Since Yin Wanfei's divine sense was not strong, not nearly as formidable as Lin Jing's, he was still clueless when Lin Jing detected Qi Gui. After finding Qi Gui, Lin Jing hastily said to Yin Wanfei, "Found him, let's go." Hearing Lin Jing's words, Yin Wanfei's eyes immediately lit up. "We found him? That's great. What's the use of old stick running so fast if we still manage to find him?" "Ha ha! Brother Lin, you rest first when we get there. I'll handle him." Upon learning that Qi Gui had been found, Yin Wanfei began to brag again. Lin Jing then smiled mysteriously and said to Yin Wanfei, "You should thank someone for being able to find him." "Thank someone? Who?" Yin Wanfei was confused by Lin Jing's words, not comprehending their meaning. Lin Jing then reminded him, "Right, you should revert to your original form first, and don't present yourself as Yin Shisha." "Why?" Yin Wanfei was very puzzled. "You'll understand once we get there." "Oh." Yin Wanfei had finished speaking and immediately transformed back into his original form. Afterward, both of them flew toward the location of the battlefield together. When Lin Jing and his companion arrived near the battlefield, Yin Wanfei finally understood what Lin Jing had meant. No wonder Lin Jing insisted on him reverting to his original form. It turned out that he had run into the detestable scoundrel Zhang. However, the wretched state of scoundrel Zhang at this moment did cheer Yin Wanfei up quite a bit. Qi Gui Shangren's expression changed from anger to despair upon seeing Lin Jing and his companion. If it hadn't been for Zhang Jian, he probably would have run away long ago. Now, after the recent fight with Zhang Jian, Qi Gui Shangren no longer had the strength to flee. When Zhang Jian saw Lin Jing, he was also surprised. "Lin Daoyu, how come you are here?" Lin Jing pointed at Qi Gui Shangren and said, "Naturally, it's for him." Zhang Jian immediately realized and said in surprise, "Before now, Qi Gui Shangren was injured. I didn't expect that it was your doing, Lin Daoyu." Qi Gui Shangren had already been injured when he encountered him. Otherwise, Zhang Jian wouldn't have been able to fight him to mutual destruction. You should know, Qi Gui Shangren was a mid-golden core stage cultivator, while Zhang Jian was only at the early stage of the golden core. Lin Jing didn't pay any more attention to Zhang Jian, but turned his head to look at Qi Gui Shangren. Qi Gui Shangren did not pay attention to Lin Jing, but turned to look at Yin Wanfei, who held the bright silver spear. "I never thought Qi Gui Shangren, would ever misjudge someone." From the bright silver spear in Yin Wanfei's hand, Qi Gui Shangren guessed that the rugged man in front of him was the Fox Clan little girl who had stabbed him a few times. "Brother Lin, leave him to me," Yin Wanfei said as he looked at Qi Gui Shangren. "All right, make it quick," replied Lin Jing. Yin Wanfei nodded and charged with his spear straight ahead. Qi Gui Shangren did the same, knowing he couldn't escape. He put forth all his strength to face Yin Wanfei. Soon, the fight concluded, and Qi Gui Shangren completely vanished into smoke and dust. Yin Wanfei was then collecting the spoils left by Qi Gui Shangren. A moment later, he finished collecting them. Yin Wanfei trotted over to Lin Jing. "Brother Lin, how did I do? I may not be as good as you, but I'm not far off, right?" Facing the self-love of this ox, Lin Jing could only respond with silence. Next, Lin Jing pointed at Zhang Jian and asked, "What do you plan to do with this one?" Lin Jing's words made Zhang Jian's heart tremble. Now severely wounded, if Lin Jing and his companion harbored any ill will towards him at this moment, he wouldn't even have a chance to resist. Yin Wanfei also looked toward Zhang Jian. Yin Wanfei now had the appearance of a rugged man. Probably Zhang Jian could never imagine that this rugged man was the Fox Clan girl he was obsessing over. Yin Wanfei narrowed his eyes and eyed Zhang Jian for a long while before sighing. "Ah, let it go. He doesn't harbor any ill intentions. We'll let him off this time. Let's go, so as not to keep Brother Jiao and the others waiting," Yin Wanfei said to Lin Jing afterward. Lin Jing nodded and was about to leave with Yin Wanfei. At that moment, Zhang Jian, already severely injured, disregarded his own wounds and hurriedly called out to Lin Jing. "Lin Daoyu, if you are here, where is Yin Shuishui?" Could it be that you've already sold her off? Lin Jing was immediately rendered speechless. This man was indeed persistent. At this time, Yin Wanfei had a face full of black lines and transmitted to Lin Jing. I feel like punching him again. Looking at his condition, he might meet his maker with just one punch from you. Lin Jing quipped in response. Let it be. I'll leave him to you. I'm going ahead. If I stay any longer, I really might not be able to resist punching him. Having said that, Yin Wanfei immediately left the place. Lin Jing gave Zhang Jian a glance and then spoke. Don't worry yourself about this matter. You should take care of yourself. Having said that, Lin Jing flew away on his sword. Several hours later, Lin Jing and Yin Wanfei arrived on a deserted small island. This was the place where Lin Jing and Lu Youjiu had agreed to meet. At this time, Lu Youjiu and Hala Three Rivers hadn't arrived yet. On the island, it was just Lin Jing and Yin Wanfei. Yin Wanfei, like a curious baby, constantly bombarded Lin Jing with questions. Brother Lin, just tell me, how did you kill that third-layer golden core cultivator so quickly? I had only just finished my sneak attack, and you had already reduced him to ashes. Lin Jing was being harassed to the point of headache. Helpless, he could only sigh and tell Yin Wanfei the real situation. Actually, it wasn't difficult to speak of. It was about utilizing the fact that the middle-aged cultivator knew little about Lin Jing to catch him off guard, thus allowing Lin Jing to kill the golden core third-layer middle-aged cultivator before he could react. After all, Lin Jing was a body refinement cultivator, and at the same time, his divine sense was especially powerful. Beyond that, the immortal 5 elements technique he cultivated, combined with the 5 elements divine art, maximized the power of the 5 elements divine art. These were things he could never have anticipated. For regular cultivators, having even one of these 3 qualities reach the level of Lin Jing was already very impressive. However, Lin Jing, having been tempered in the trial grounds of Immortal Crossing Island, possessed incredible strength in both divine sense and physique. Furthermore, the continuous cultivation of the 5 elements divine art made him unstoppable. And Lin Jing had initiated the sneak attack. The middle-aged cultivator was only informed by the senior Qi Gui about his powerful divine sense attacks. He was not informed about the rest. Thus, the middle-aged cultivator was caught unprepared and was swiftly killed by Lin Jing. This was also why, in his final moments, the middle-aged cultivator looked resentfully at senior Qi Gui. Actually, even without the sneak attack, with Lin Jing's current combat strength, he wouldn't fear facing a cultivator at the mid-golden core stage. When Yin Wanfei heard everything, he couldn't help but sigh. Subsequently, Yin Wanfei, once again intrigued, suggested sparring with Lin Jing. It was like when the two first met, sparring only in terms of physical cultivation, without using any spells. Yin Wanfei hadn't forgotten about that to this day. However, their sparring was interrupted before it even began, because Lu Youjiu and the others arrived. When Lu Youjiu and Hala Three Rivers arrived on the flying boat, they just happened to see Yin Wanfei getting into position, ready to spar with Lin Jing. Lu Youjiu's expression immediately darkened. Nyo-san, I see you're itching for a fight again, aren't you? At such a critical moment of the mission, you still don't know to stay quiet for a while. Fine. After this mission, I'll have a proper spar with you. As he spoke, Lu Youjiu's gaze towards Yin Wanfei was like looking at a big punching bag to vent his frustrations. Yin Wanfei shivered involuntarily. Brother Jiu, don't. I know I was wrong. Although Lu Youjiu said this, he didn't go find trouble with Yin Wanfei right then. Later, Hala Three Rivers gathered everyone together and then said, Next, the mission will truly begin. Nyo-san, it's up to you now. After speaking, Hala Three Rivers handed Yin Wanfei a jade pendant, then instructed him. This jade pendant is actually a decoy. You just need to channel spiritual power into it, and it will immediately turn into a formation pattern. When they take you through, you'll pass a square in the center of Lian Island, and the formation is underground there. By then, as you pass through the square, just channel your spiritual power into this jade pendant, and that's sufficient. As long as the formation pattern inside the jade pendant invades the formation eye of the 5th rank trap-killing formation, the trap-killing formation will become completely ineffective. After Hala 3 Rivers finished speaking, Yin Wanfei picked up the jade pendant in his hand, flipping it over several times without discerning any clues. Is it really that simple? Hala 3 Rivers nodded and said, "Yes, it's that simple." When Hala 3 Rivers finished introducing everything to Yin Wanfei, he directly extended his divine sense into Lin Jing's sea of consciousness, transmitting a few images. Within these images were the appearances of 2 cultivators. These 2, they're under Dai Mao. Just remember them, as they will be the ones to deal with you. If they haggle over the price, you see how it goes. Just manage to sell Neo San to them. That's all. Regarding the rest, there's nothing much. After you sell Neo San to them, directly return here, and then together, we will head to Liyan Island. Lin Jing then nodded in response. Once everything was arranged, Lin Jing, with Yin Wanfei, now again transformed into a small girl of the Fox clan, flew towards Blackshing Island. Meanwhile, Lu Youjiu and Yin Wanfei waited on the small island for Lin Jing's arrival. Upon entering Blackshing Island again, Lin Jing returned to his original stall as if he had never left. And Lin Jing, just like before, sat expressionless behind the stall. And so, 2 more days passed. During these 2 days, Lin Jing drove away many people with his high prices. It wasn't until the 3rd day that people from under Dai Mao came here. The 2, one tall and one short, both had golden core early-stage cultivation. They approached Lin Jing and directly asked, "How much for this Fox clan girl?" Lin Jing, without lifting his head, directly responded, 100,000 medium-grade spirit stones. This price was already half less than what Lin Jing had originally quoted. However, upon hearing this quote, the 2 frowned and said, "That's too expensive." Only then did Lin Jing look up at them and said, "Fox clan girls are rare and hard to catch, and one must also guard against the Fox clan's retaliation. This price is not expensive." After hearing Lin Jing's words, the 2 looked at each other, then said, 20,000 medium-grade spirit stones, will you sell?" Lin Jing looked at them, his eyes suddenly sharp, and then coldly said, "No deal. 20,000 spirit stones. To be honest, this price really is a bit of a rip-off." Although Lin Jing was planning to sell Yin Shuishui to them, it wasn't as if he was going to sell her at a bargain basement price. At the very least, he wanted to follow the market rate, even if it was slightly lower. By pressing him with such direct pricing, Lin Jing even suspected it was a test against him, because previously, Lin Jing had always sold for 200,000 medium-grade spirit stones. It was only these past couple of days that he had sold for 100,000 spirit stones. This definitely must have been informed by that person from Liyan Island, who mentioned Lin Jing's price drop to them. That's why they dared to quote a price of 20,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Confronted with their offer, Lin Jing did not hesitate and simply showed them out. Upon hearing Lin Jing's words, the 2 men furrowed their brows tightly, paused for a moment, and then said, 30,000 medium-grade spirit stones. Lin Jing's brow also furrowed as he spoke. Before coming here, I had already inquired. The last time a Fox clan girl appeared, she was sold for 80,000 medium-grade spirit stones. If you 2 truly want her, show some sincerity. Otherwise, don't bother me while I'm conducting business here. Upon hearing Lin Jing's words, the tall cultivator suddenly narrowed his eyes and smiled, saying, "Fellow Taoist, what are you saying? We sincerely wish to make a deal with you. But could we perhaps first inspect the Fox clan girl?" At his words, Lin Jing's brow furrowed tightly, but he said nothing. He quickly contacted Yin Wanfei using divine sense voice transmission. "They want to inspect her. Is that all right?" "No problem. Our green illusion demon ox's transformation technique is flawless. Don't worry," Yin Wanfei hastily replied. "Good." Lin Jing then cut off the divine sense voice transmission. Afterward, Lin Jing took the pitiful Yin Shuishui out from the cage in front of his stall, and then placed her on a stall in front of the 2 men. "Look, This Fox Clan girl was not easy to come by. There are definitely no issues. The two men then began to scrutinize Shuishui. Just then, the tall cultivator reached out his hand, intending to touch Shuishui. However, his move was immediately stopped by Lin Jing. Fellow Taoist, have you forgotten the rules of the market? This marketplace indeed has this rule. You can look, divine sense inspection is also fine, but touching is not allowed. The reason for this was out of fear that someone might cause damage. After all, these are living beings. A little carelessness could result in someone tampering. Sorry, I got carried away, the tall cultivator quickly said. After looking for a while, the two men said they needed to think it over and then left. Just after the two men had left, Yan Wanfei suddenly transmitted a message to Lin Jing. Brother Lin, they did something to me just now. Lin Jing was taken aback and quickly asked, what did they do? There's a breath inside my body, very faint and hard to detect. Lin Jing then extended his hand, placed it on Yan Wanfei's body, and probed with his spiritual power. As the spiritual power traveled through Yan Wanfei's body, it quickly scanned him completely. But after a full circuit, he found nothing. That breath was indeed eerie. Lin Jing then used his divine sense to probe into Yan Wanfei's body, and under Yan Wanfei's guidance, finally detected a deeply hidden small breath. This breath shouldn't be a big issue. If you truly were the Fox Clan girl, Shuishui, this breath might make you severely ill. After a thorough investigation, Lin Jing finally figured out the purpose of that breath. So next, should we play along with their plan? Yan Wanfei transmitted to Lin Jing. Lin Jing said, of course. They just want to find a reason to spend fewer spirit stones. We naturally have to fulfill their wishes. The next day, Lin Jing, unlike usual, had a tight frown that didn't ease, and the Shuishui in the cage also appeared listless and languid. Just then, the same two cultivators, one tall and one short, walked over again. As soon as the two arrived, they spoke up. Fellow Taoist, we thought it over yesterday, and still feel that this Fox Clan girl is too expensive. Could you consider lowering the price? Just then, the tall cultivator suddenly paused. Fellow Taoist, this Fox Clan girl seems a bit off. Before the tall cultivator could finish, Lin Jing immediately interrupted. You want this Fox Clan girl, right? Take out 60,000 medium-grade spirit stones, and you can take her away immediately. I see your Fox Clan girl is listless. There wouldn't be any problems, right? The short cultivator asked at this moment. But Lin Jing immediately replied, no, you're overthinking it. At this, the tall cultivator helped Lin Jing to explain. This Fox Clan girl looks so listless. She must be physically weak. If we take her, we will also need to spend effort treating her. How about this? 50,000 spirit stones, and we'll take her. Otherwise, you might as well find someone else. After hearing this, Lin Jing frowned and was silent for a moment before he said, fine, 50,000 spirit stones, deal. Next, money exchanged hands, goods were delivered, everything went smoothly, and both parties were very satisfied with completing the transaction. After successfully selling Shuishui, Lin Jing did not leave immediately, but instead took a couple more turns around Black Shark City. Only after confirming that the two cultivators had not attempted to follow him did Lin Jing leave Black Shing Island. He headed to the uninhabited island to meet up with Lu Youjiu and Hala, 3 Rivers. When Lin Jing arrived at the uninhabited island after several hours of flying, Lu Youjiu and Hala, 3 Rivers immediately came to greet him. Is everything taken care of? Lu Youjiu asked as soon as Lin Jing approached. Lin Jing nodded and said, it's done. I've sold Nio's sand to the 2 of them. After that, Lin Jing detailed the transaction process to the 2 of them. Having finished the story, Lin Jing took out a storage bag from his body and handed it to Lu Youjiu, saying, this is the spirit stone obtained from selling Nio sand, a total of 50,000, all here. Lu Youjiu looked at the storage bag in Lin Jing's hand and didn't reach out to take it, but instead chuckled. Haha, Niosen turned out to be quite valuable, huh? I initially thought if he could sell for 30,000 spirit stones, that would have already been pretty good. I didn't expect him to actually be worth 50,000 medium-grade spirit stones. As soon as Lu Youjiu finished speaking, Hala Three Rivers immediately said, if it had been a real Fox Clan girl, selling for this price would have been a bit of a loss. However, we were doing it for the mission, and it's all right to lose a bit. The price of 50,000 medium-grade spirit stones is just right, and Lin Daoyu's final action should also dispel their suspicions. Lin Daoyu did well. Lu Youjiu nodded, and then said to Hala Three Rivers, next up, it's our turn to take action. MHM. Hala Three Rivers nodded in response. Then, Lu Youjiu looked at the storage bag in Lin Jing's hand and spoke again. You give these spirit stones to San He. After the mission is completed, we'll divide up these spirit stones with the final mission reward, he said. Lin Jing handed the spirit stones to Hala Three Rivers and then said, I've already taken the Earth Flame Marrow Crystal, so you three can divide these final spirit stones amongst yourselves. I don't need them. But it was at this point that Hala Three Rivers spoke up. These spirit stones are a minor matter. We'll talk about it after the mission is completed. For now, the mission is the most important. Hearing this, Lin Jing nodded. Afterwards, following a discussion, they decided to start the journey immediately. Then, Lu Youjiu summoned a flying boat, and together, the three of them boarded the flying boat and flew in the direction of the Thousand Islands domain. Indeed, the flying boat was quite fast. In less than a day, they had already reached the sea region where the Thousand Islands domain was located. The Thousand Islands domain, in the southern outer sea of the demonic monster sea, is a very famous sea area. It is named for the thousands of islands it contains. The islands in the Thousand Islands domain vary in size. The smallest are just a few square kilometers, while the largest span tens of thousands of square kilometers. On the largest islands of the Thousand Islands domain, there are forests, lakes, mountain ranges, and so on, almost all kinds of terrain. They're almost comparable to the mainland. Moreover, the Thousand Islands domain isn't very far from Bihai City. As a result, many cultivators settled in the Thousand Islands domain. To avoid any disturbance, these powerful cultivators, some alone and others in groups, occupied an island each. As for the lower cultivation cultivators and some mortals who have always lived here, they became the island inhabitants. Because their cultivation is too weak, or they have no cultivation at all, they simply cannot leave the island too far and venture into the deep sea region. Reluctantly, they can only seek to survive on the various islands of the Thousand Islands domain. These people either depend on some powerful island masters and work for them, or they are self-sufficient on some desolate and unclaimed small islands. All in all, living here is not entirely impossible. If they encounter kind island masters, their lives can even be much better than those of some cultivators in Bihai City. The only thing they fear is encountering those cruel and bloodthirsty demon cultivators. And Dai Mao happens to be one of those demon cultivators, and moreover, he is exceptionally cruel and fond of killing. Originally, after Dai Mao occupied Flame Island, he nearly exterminated all the original inhabitants and low-level cultivators on the island. The few who were left mostly fled to other islands. The information about the island previously obtained by Hala Three Rivers actually came from these original island inhabitants. The flying boat wove tirelessly through the sea, bypassing several islands on the outskirts of the Thousand Islands domain, and finally stopped at a small island. Stepping out of the flying boat, Lu Youjiu pointed to an island shrouded in a light curtain in the distance and said, "That's Liyan Island. Dai Mao has made too many enemies, and he seldom leaves the island. But with the 5th-rank trap-killing formation there, nobody comes to trouble him." The size of Liyan Island was actually not small. From where Lin Jing stood, he could not even see its edge. At that moment, Hala Three Rivers took out a communication token and handed it to Lin Jing, and then said to him, "Lin Daoyu, keep watch in this vicinity. If those two return, you notify us." Lin Jing looked at the two of them, puzzled, and asked, "Then what about you? To prevent any other riffraff from escaping, we still need to make some preparations, and set up some formations around Lian Island, Lu Youjiu subsequently said. Good. Lin Jing nodded in agreement. Soon thereafter, Lu Youjiu and Hala, 3 rivers, the two of them, left on their flying swords. And so, Lin Jing waited on the island for 2 days. It wasn't until the 3rd day that Lu Youjiu and Hala, 3 rivers, had both returned, while the 2 golden core cultivators who took Yin Shuishui had still not come back. The 3 of them continued to wait. It wasn't until the 4th day that they finally saw the 2 figures from a distance. They brought back not only Yin Shuishui, but also 2 little girls. No wonder they showed up so late. It turned out that after completing the transaction with Lin Jing, the 2 golden core cultivators, one tall and one short, went to buy other little girls. However, these 2 little girls were not from the demon race, but humans. The 2 approached the coast of Lian Island and then took out a token from their persons. They began to form hand seals and chanted softly under their breath. After a while, a crack appeared in the light screen of the formation, large enough for the 2 to pass through. Afterward, the 2 of them entered the crack with Yin Shuishui and the other 2 little girls, and then flew toward the center of Lian Island. After the 2 had gone in, the crack in the formation also disappeared. At this moment, Lu Youjiu spoke up, wearing a light smile. All right, now, it's my turn to make a move. As he spoke, a soaring sword aura rose from Lu Youjiu's body. A cold light, long sword filled with piercing coldness was already in his hand. Now, looking at Lu Youjiu, his gaze was profound as he stared at Lian Island, and there was a kind of despising the world demeanor about him. Are we going to have a drink for today's battle? Hala, 3 rivers asked. Lu Youjiu looked down at the wine gourd at his waist, and then with a smile, he said, "It depends. Sanhe, leave those riffraff to you. And Brother Lin, please help Sanhe keep an eye out. Don't let any other riffraff escape." "No problem," Lin Jing replied. After that, Lu Youjiu took off directly, flying towards Lian Island. Lin Jing and Hala, 3 rivers, followed Lu Youjiu, flying together toward Lian Island. When they approached close to Lian Island, they stopped before getting too near. At this time, Lu Youjiu said to Lin Jing, "We can't go any further. Ahead is the range of the 5th rank trap-killing formation. Once we step in, we'll trigger the trap-killing formation. This trap-killing formation even has a hidden function." Lin Jing looked at the calm sea before him, when not the slightest trace of the formation could be detected. "Of course," Lu Youjiu stated directly. Then, Lu Youjiu waved his hand, and a white sword chi burst forth violently, heading straight for the light barrier above Lian Island. "Lin Dao you this?" Lin Jing was taken aback, not understanding why Lu Youjiu suddenly unleashed a burst of sword chi at this moment. However, right after the sword chi was released and touched the light screen, an anomaly arose at this moment. They saw a murky gray fog suddenly appear before the group, enveloping the island of Lian within it. And within this gray fog, there were white silhouettes flashing incessantly, as if moving at high speed within the fog. "Do you see those white silhouettes?" Lu Youjiu lifted his sword, pointing towards the constantly flickering white shadows, and said, Lin Jing nodded. "These are actually flying swords, but they are mere illusions and not physical entities. This is the killing formation within the trap-killing formation, the myriad swords killing formation. Don't be fooled by the unassuming appearance of these light swords. With our level of cultivation, we could at most withstand a single strike. Even a nascent soul cultivator, should they arrive, wouldn't last long. Coupled with another entrapment formation, even if a nascent soul cultivator did get trapped, without special escape methods, it would be difficult to avoid death. It's that powerful." Lin Jing frowned as he watched the white shadows shuttling rapidly through the gray fog, and he couldn't help feeling a chill. However, a 5th-rank trap-killing formation is actually nothing much to speak of, Lu Youjiu said at this time. "Do you know why Sanhe took this mission?" he asked Lin Jing soon after. Lin Jing looked towards Hala, 3 rivers and shook his head. "I don't." Hala, 3 rivers spoke up directly. "I took this mission because one of the rewards for this mission is a high-level formation tome. If I can get my hands on this formation tome, It won't be long before I can raise my formation level by another rank. Lu Youjiu then added, saying he is currently a 4th rank array master. If he advances by one more rank, he will be a 5th rank array master. By then, he alone would be able to set up a 5th rank trap-killing formation. This mission is perfect as it would give access not only to that formation tome. Once we eliminate Dai Mao, he can also study this trap-killing formation, which might help him advance even faster. So that's how it is. No wonder, Lin Jing realized and said. However, just at that moment, a voice filled with rage emanated from the island. Who is it that dares to attack Liyan Island and disregards me, Dai Mao? Are you courting death? Then, a surge of angry, monstrous demonic chi drew closer and closer. Until finally, as the gray mist dispersed, a person emerged from the formation. This person had a sinister gaze, and his body was enveloped in a very dense demonic chi. On his body, there was a pendant emitting white light, and as the black fog drew near the pendant, it would automatically retreat. Even the white phantoms within the myriad swords killing formation would automatically avoid the white light upon encountering it. Clearly, the jade pendant on Dai Mao was related to the trap-killing formation and, quite likely, could control the killing formation. As Dai Mao emerged, he looked at the several people before him. He paused for a moment, then frowned and fixed his gaze on Lu Youjiu, saying, Lu Youjiu. After speaking, he ignored Lin Jing and turned his attention towards Hala 3 Rivers. I presume you're Lu Youjiu's partner, 4th rank array master, Hala 3 Rivers. Unexpectedly, the demon cultivator Dai Mao actually recognized both Lu Youjiu and Hala 3 Rivers. It appeared that what Lu Youjiu had said earlier was not untrue. He really did have some fame in these waters. The way demon cultivator Dai Mao looked at Lu Youjiu was filled with wariness. Moreover, although he came out of Liyan Island to this place, he did not step outside the range of the trap-killing formation. Obviously, he was very wary of Lu Youjiu. I came, naturally, to kill you. Lu Youjiu looked at Dai Mao and spoke directly. Upon hearing this, Dai Mao's face immediately darkened. You took on the task to kill me. Lu Youjiu, I didn't expect you to be so arrogant. Do you really think you can kill me just with your own power? Of course I can, said Lu Youjiu confidently and unhurriedly. At this time, Dai Mao's expression became even more somber and he coldly snorted. Don't think that just because you've killed a golden core peak cultivator, it means you can kill me. You should know there are differences even among golden core peak cultivators. However, Lu Youjiu just chuckled lightly. Haha, I like to give it a try. However, Dai Mao didn't fall for this bluff, and, staring directly at Lu Youjiu, he spoke. Do you really think you are invincible under the nascent soul level? Not to mention the presence of this trap-killing formation, which you cannot breach, even without this killing formation. But before Dai Mao could finish his sentence, something unexpected occurred. Suddenly, a massive formation pattern rose into the sky, enveloping the entire Liyan Island within it. The large formation protecting the whole island also suddenly became visible. At this moment, even Dai Mao, hidden within the trap-killing formation, had his expression drastically change, and he quickly looked towards the center of the island. As the formation patterns grew brighter, a crackling sound echoed, and numerous cracks appeared on the light barrier that was originally protecting Liyan Island. Without even the span of a breath, a loud boom rang out, and the light barrier protecting Liyan Island shattered. Following the collapse of the light barrier, the gray fog within the trap-killing formation began to thin, and the white phantoms weaving through the fog also started to fade away. What has happened? Dai Mao, looking towards the heart of Liyan Island, was both shocked and enraged. He then leapt up, attempting to fly back to the island to check the situation. However, Lu Youjiu immediately unsheathed his sword, and as its rainbow-like brilliance shined, it flew straight towards Dai Mao. As the sword light passed through the trap-killing formation, it was weakened by the formation. But this mighty sword light still pierced through the formation and continued towards Dai Mao. Seeing the sword light approaching, Dai Mao quickly dodged to the side. Since the sword light had already been weakened by the formation, both its speed and power were greatly reduced. Therefore, Dai Mao easily dodged the sword light. At that moment, Dai Mao turned back and looked at Lu Youjiu, realization dawning upon him, and anger surging up as he pointed at Lu Youjiu. "It's you did this," Lu Youjiu admitted unabashedly. "It was me." After a short while, the gray fog completely dissipated and the white phantoms vanished entirely. It was clear that the 5th rank trap-killing formation had now lost its effectiveness. Dai Mao, with his eyebrows furrowed and eyes full of rage, said to the few of them, "Lu Youjiu, you dare to provoke me. Do you really think you got me all figured out?" However, Lu Youjiu was completely unmoved and plainly stated, I have decided to kill you today." Just as Lu Youjiu's voice fell, preparing to take action, suddenly, a figure flew out from the island, and, as they flew, they also shouted, "Brother Jiu, save me." Hearing this voice, it was indeed Yin Wanfei. Yin Wanfei was very fast, and within a short span of time, he was already approaching the area. At this moment, Lin Jing also clearly saw Yin Wanfei's appearance. Yin Wanfei was seen stepping on a silver-white long spear, holding 2 small girls in his arms, both looking panic-stricken. The 2 small girls did not look old, around 11 or 12 years old. And Lin Jing also noticed these 2 young ladies looked exactly the same. It turned out they were a pair of twins. Behind Yin Wanfei, 2 golden core cultivators were following, one tall and one short, both seething with anger. "Bastard, stop right there." These 2 cultivators were incensed. They had never imagined they could be played like this. The Fox Clan girl they had bought turned out to be a rugged big man. This left the 2 cultivators, who had initially thought themselves to have gotten a bargain and were quite pleased with themselves, so angry that they felt like spitting blood. Moreover, this rugged man had activated a jade pendant when they weren't paying attention, and it flew into the center of the great formation. What happened next sent a chill down their spines. The 5th rank trap-killing formation that had always protected Li Yin Island just crumbled away like that. How could the 2 of them not be terrified? By this time, saying anything else was pointless. The only thing they could do was to capture this rugged man and atone for their failure, hoping to gain Dai Mao's forgiveness. For a blunder, this big meant death for them without a doubt. At this moment, Dai Mao, too, saw Yin Wanfei rushing out with 2 little girls in his arms. How could he not understand what was happening? So, Dai Mao quickly stepped forward, trying to stop Yin Wanfei. However, it was at this moment that Lu Youjiu made his move. He lifted his sword and charged toward Dai Mao. "Sanhe, from here on out, it's all on you," Lu Youjiu said. "Okay." Hala 3 Rivers nodded. After nodding, Lu Youjiu then turned his head, facing Dai Mao, and swung his sword straight toward him. One sword stroke commands 3,000 miles. A magnificent sword energy burst forth from Lu Youjiu's cold light, long sword, engulfing everything in its path with a might to sweep through heaven and earth. And like that, it flew towards Dai Mao. As Dai Mao sensed the oncoming sword chi, he quickly halted his steps, not daring to charge at Yin Wanfei anymore. Instead, he turned around, brought out his magical treasure flying sword, and demonic chi also started gushing out of his body, enveloping Dai Mao in an aura of demonic chi. Then, all this demonic chi gathered and surged into Dai Mao, making him seem like a preeminent demon lord, even more terrifying. After that, Dai Mao's speed surged, enabling him to dodge the sword chi flung by Lu Youjiu. Dai Mao then waved his hand, and several streams of demonic chi transformed into giant pythons, lunging at Lu Youjiu with gaping mouths. Lu Youjiu simply swung his sword again, and this time the sword chi shattered the demonic chi pythons like a rain of swords, dispersing them. Like that, the 2 of them began to fight. However, although the 2 seemed evenly matched, Lu Youjiu seemed to have the upper hand consistently. Intentionally or not, he was leading Dai Mao away from the range of the Yin Island. After Lu Youjiu left, Hala Three Rivers began to form hand signs, muttering under his breath. He then took out several array flags and threw them out casually. The flags flew out on their own, directly piercing into the sea near Liyan Island. Soon after, countless pillars of light shot into the sky. The light pillars arranged themselves in a peculiar pattern. Once the light pillars rose, formation patterns appeared at their bases, interconnecting the pillars. Turns out, this was also a formation. The formation was so vast that it enveloped the entirety of Liyan Island. At that moment, Yin Wanfei charged over and successfully regrouped with Lin Jing. We finally got out. You have no idea how fierce those two were just now, Yin Wanfei said, still shaken. At this time, the tall and short Golden Core cultivators tried to break out, but were blocked by Hala Three Rivers formation. Why did you bring 2 kids with you? Lin Jing asked in confusion. These 2 little girls were also bought by those men to give to Dai Mao. Of course, I had to save them, Yin Wanfei replied. All right, you 2 could get off of me now, Yin Wanfei told the 2 little girls. However, the 2 girls clung to Yin Wanfei's neck as if holding onto a lifeline, unwilling to let go. You 2 are nearly strangling me to death, Yin Wanfei said helplessly. It was only then that the 2 girls realized what they were doing and loosened their grip a little. Seizing the opportunity, Yin Wanfei took the 2 girls off him. Then, regardless of Lin Jing's objections, he placed the 2 little girls on Lin Jing and said, Brother Lin, I'm leaving these 2 with you. Having said that, Yin Wanfei's gaze turned to the 2 cultivators. Those 2 bastards have been pinching my face all the way, chasing me down like a dog with its tail between its legs. I've been tolerating them for a long time. No, I must get revenge. I need to beat them until their heads bloom. Otherwise, my heart will not be at ease. Hearing this, Yin Wanfei proceeded to grab his spear and charge forward. Lin Jing watched the scene with a speechless expression. Then Yin Wanfei charged in, entering into a brawl with the tall and short cultivators. But Yin Wanfei was no ordinary fighter. Even against 2 opponents, he managed with ease and did not fall behind. While Lin Jing, looking at the twin girls in his arms, shook his head helplessly and said to Hala Three Rivers, Fellow Taoist San, you keep watch here. I'll find a safe place to leave these 2 girls and be right back. Hala Three Rivers nodded and replied, The formation is active, and no one inside can escape. It's fine, go ahead. Lin Jing nodded, then left with the 2 little girls. Thus, Lin Jing, holding the 2 little girls, flew all the way. They arrived at the island where they had initially landed upon their arrival, which was relatively safe compared to others. And the aftermath of the battle did not reach this place. Lin Jing found a safe place for the 2 girls and then said to them, You 2 stay here and do not wander off. This place is quite safe. I'll come back for you once everything is over. After Lin Jing finished speaking, the 2 little girls appeared somewhat timid, just clutching at Lin Jing's sleeve, gazing at him with hopeful eyes. It seemed that their previous ordeal had probably terrified them. Seeing this, Lin Jing stretched out his hand, ruffled their heads, and consoled. Don't worry, we will certainly not abandon you 2. Hearing what Lin Jing said, they finally let go of his sleeve reluctantly. Afterward, after saying goodbye to the 2 little girls, Lin Jing left and headed towards Liyan Island. Arriving at Liyan Island, the battle there had already reached its final stages. There was no need for others to step in. Yin Wanfei alone had taken care of the 2 cultivators, 1 tall and 1 short. At this time, there were also some cultivators who had sided with Dai Mao and followed him in his evil deeds, trying to break out of Liyan Island. But they were all stopped by the grand formation laid out by Hala Three Rivers. These people, having sided with Dai Mao and using him as their backing, often bullied the original inhabitants of the island. Moreover, the aura of bloodshed on them was thick, clearly not the kind who were benevolent. Not a single one deserved pity. Therefore, Yin Wanfei did not show any mercy. By the time Lin Jing returned, these people were almost completely exterminated by him. Just a few scattered individuals were left. And the other island inhabitants, seeing Dai Mao's power crumbling, also began to resist. In the end, after not too long, all the demon cultivators that followed Dai Mao and his underlings were killed by the original cultivators of the island. None escaped. Now, only Dai Mao was left. Sometime after Dai Mao's forces were annihilated on Liyan Island, a great disturbance came from the sea ahead. Accompanied by this disturbance was that familiar, overwhelming demonic qi. Obviously, Dai Mao had returned. Before Dai Mao could get close, Lin Jing and Hala Three Rivers went straight up to intercept him. Yin Wanfei, having just collected the spoils of war, also hurried to Lin Jing's side to stand with them, vigilantly preparing for Dai Mao's assault. However, when Dai Mao approached and got closer, the three of them then realized Dai Mao was in a terribly miserable state, with several deep wounds that revealed bone, from which crimson blood continually dripped. Besides the injuries on his body, even the demonic qi around him, though it seemed thick, gave off a sense of being spent. When Dai Mao saw Lin Jing and the others blocking his path, he frowned and then condensed demonic qi into 3 blood-red skeletons. These skeletons were incredibly powerful, exuding a sinister and bloody aura the moment they were summoned. Dai Mao then pointed at the 3 men and uttered one word. Go! The skeletons, as if possessing eyes, dragged long blood-red tails and howled as they attacked Lin Jing and the others. Although Dai Mao was not in good condition, the aura coming from the skeleton spell he deployed was quite terrifying. The moment the spell materialized, the 3 knew that they could not withstand it. So, as the blood-red skeletons approached, Lin Jing and the others quickly dodged. However, just as they dodged, the blood-red skeletons charged fiercely and, after Lin Jing and the others had moved out of the way, slammed directly into the formation behind them. Boom! The blood-red skeletons exploded upon the formation. The power of the blast was immense, blowing a huge hole in the formation arranged by Hala Three Rivers. Seizing the opportunity, Dai Mao hurriedly flew towards the island. Seeing this, everyone promptly sought to intercept him, but Dai Mao managed to evade them and then directly entered Liyan Island through the hole that had been created. Just at that moment, another presence approached from the distant sea. The newcomer was Lu Youjiu. Lu Youjiu, brandishing a long sword, flew straight over. Lu Youjiu's condition was clearly much better than that of Dai Mao. Seeing Dai Mao fly into Liyan Island, Lu Youjiu did not hesitate to follow. Seeing Lu Youjiu flying into Liyan Island, Lin Jing and the others soon followed behind him and flew in as well. In this manner, everyone soon reached the center of Liyan Island, above a luxurious palace. Looking down at the palace below, with its golden bricks and jade tiles, it was incredibly luxurious, and surrounding the palace was a huge spirit-gathering array. Clearly, this must have been Dai Mao's residence on the island. Dai Mao stopped above this palace. When Lu Youjiu, along with Lin Jing and the others, arrived, they surrounded Dai Mao. What? Do you still think you can run away? Lu Youjiu stared directly at Dai Mao and said. At this moment, surrounded by several people, Dai Mao burst into laughter. Ha ha! Lu Youjiu, I, Dai Mao, admit defeat in this matter. But do you really think I have no options left? Upon hearing these words, everyone instantly became alert. Lu Youjiu's brow was also tightly furrowed as he stared intently at Dai Mao. Dai Mao was clearly at the end of his strength, and he was no longer capable of inflicting fatal damage on the group. Unless he self-destructed, given his golden core peak cultivation, if he chose to self-destruct, it was doubtful any of them could emerge unscathed. Seeing everyone on guard, Dai Mao laughed wildly. Ha ha! You think I'm going to self-destruct? I'm not that foolish. Even if I did self-destruct, with you all on guard, it wouldn't cause you much damage. It was at this moment. Dai Mao struck downwards with a palm towards the palace below. The extravagantly luxurious palace crumbled instantly under Dai Mao's palm, becoming a mess of ruins. Right after this palm strike, a shallow pit appeared at the former center of the palace. This pit was sealed by a formation, and inside it sat a mutton-fat jade vase with an ancient talisman attached. After that palm strike, Dai Mao immediately dived down to the side of the pit. He then formed hand seals, and suddenly, several formation patterns appeared on the ceiling formation. Under the influence of these patterns, the ceiling formation slowly began to fade. Seeing Dai Mao relentlessly trying to open this ceiling formation, Lin Jing and the others all frowned deeply. It seemed there was something terrifying sealed within the formation, and Dai Mao wanted to use it to deal with Lin Jing and the others. However, now that the formation was being unlocked, it was too late for them to intervene. Lin Jing and the group could only stay on high alert and keep their eyes on the mutton-fat jade vase within the formation. After unlocking the formation, Dai Mao reached out and took the jade vase. Then, he peeled off the talisman, stored it away, and channeled his spiritual power to crush the jade vase. As the mutton-fat jade vase shattered, a surge of black demonic chi shot straight into the sky. This chi was much denser than the demonic chi on Dai Mao. Following the emergence of this black demonic chi, terrifying and strange laughter came from within the fog. I, the heavenly desire demon monarch, am finally free. Next, the black demonic chi circled twice above Dai Mao's head and then transformed into the figure of a middle-aged man, who looked at Dai Mao and said, "It's been so long, you finally decided to release me. You didn't trust me before, but now that you've chosen to let me out, if I'm not mistaken, you must be facing a crisis that you can't overcome." This entity, known as the Heavenly Desired Demon Monarch, circled above the heads of Dai Mao and Lin Jing's group, transformed back into the appearance of the middle-aged man, and then spoke to Dai Mao. "My guess is correct, isn't it?" After speaking, he glanced at Lin Jing and the others, but his gaze did not linger on them and merely swept over casually. Observing his demeanor, he wasn't concerned about Lin Jing and the group in the slightest. Yet, Lin Jing and his companions were on high alert, because the demonic chi emanating from this person was incredibly powerful, and his divine sense was outrageously strong as well. If Lin Jing was not mistaken, this person must have been at least a nascent soul cultivator previously, or possibly even higher. However, it was unknown why he had been sealed away, left without a body, and transformed into the current state of black demonic chi. Moreover, when the heavenly desired demon monarch's chi hovered over Lin Jing's head, Lin Jing felt a familiar sensation. It seemed within the demonic chi of the heavenly desired demon monarch, there was something related to him that triggered his senses. But the heavenly desired demon monarch was too fast, and before Lin Jing could properly discern it, he had already flown away again. Lin Jing watched the heavenly desired demon monarch, who had returned to Dai Mao's side, his brows tightly knotted as he carefully recalled the sensation. At this time, the heavenly desired demon monarch spoke again. "Long ago, I told you that the price for my help was not cheap. Are you sure you want to go through with it?" Dai Mao looked at Lu Youjiu, his eyes resolute, and then he spoke directly. "I'm sure. As long as Senior can help me kill these people, I am willing to lend my body to Senior and aid in the recovery of your strength." "Ha! Very well," said the heavenly desire demon monarch, laughing. Everyone watched the suddenly appearing heavenly desire demon monarch, their brows deeply furrowed. He was in a mere state of demonic chi now, yet he was immensely powerful. But just at this moment, Lu Youjiu suddenly launched an attack, drawing his sword and slashing towards the heavenly desired demon monarch. The sword light soared like a rainbow, sweeping towards the heavenly desired demon monarch. Yet, the heavenly desired demon monarch merely snorted coldly and then turned back into a mist. The sword light passed directly through the mist, failing to inflict any harm on the heavenly desired demon monarch. After the flash of the sword, the heavenly desired demon monarch once again transformed back into the appearance of the middle-aged man from before and looked at the group with a sinister smile. Merely a few children. Having said that, he then spoke to Dai Mao. "Good. Once I have recovered, I will naturally help you get rid of them." Continuing, the heavenly desired demon monarch said to Dai Mao, "Now let go of your mind. I will take control of your body first and help you kill them. Otherwise, if they end up destroying your body later on, I won't be able to help you. You know that the power I can exert right now is limited. Of course. Having said this, Dai Mao directly relinquished the control of his mind and said to the heavenly desire demon monarch, "Senior, come." After speaking, Dai Mao immediately closed his eyes, waiting for the heavenly desire demon monarch to enter his body. Meanwhile, a ghastly glow flashed in the eyes of the heavenly desire demon monarch, who laughed eerily at Dai Mao. I am coming." After speaking, the heavenly desire demon monarch instantly rushed into Dai Mao's body. However, as soon as the heavenly desire demon monarch entered Dai Mao's body, Dai Mao felt excruciating pain. Accompanied by a piercing scream, Dai Mao rolled on the ground, clutching his head, and from his mouth came agonizing cries. "Heavenly Desire Senior, what are you doing? I trusted you so much, yet you are trying to possess me." Then, from within Dai Mao's body, came the voice of the heavenly desire demon monarch. Did you really think I didn't know what you were thinking? To devour me, you don't have the strength." Only then did Dai Mao suddenly realize the truth. His eyes bloodshot, he roared, "Heavenly desire, old thief, you lied to me. You were never afraid of that talisman." However, the heavenly desire demon monarch simply said, "You are far too naive. If I hadn't revealed a weakness, you probably would never have let me out. As for now, use your body to fulfill my aim." Having finished speaking, the heavenly desire demon monarch transformed back into a black demonic chi, completely enveloping Dai Mao. And within the black demonic chi, Dai Mao wailed in agony. Heavenly desire demon monarch, you will not die a good death." Yet, the heavenly desire demon monarch showed no annoyance, but instead began to console Dai Mao. "Don't worry, after I have possessed you, I will definitely kill those people to avenge you. After all, we have had so many years of pitting our wits against each other. I'm filled with hatred." At this moment, bulging veins appeared on Dai Mao's forehead. His entire eyes were filled with blood, with tears of blood continuously flowing down from the corners. Clearly, he was experiencing extreme pain. At such a critical moment, the group couldn't just sit and wait for death. Lu Youjiu immediately took the gourd from his waist, opened it, and took a swig. Instantly, his aura surged dramatically. And then, Lu Youjiu spoke up, directly saying to Lin Jing and the others, "Now's the time, kill him." Having finished speaking, Lu Youjiu hurled a sword energy strike towards Dai Mao. Hearing the conversation between those two just now, Lu Youjiu understood that the heavenly desire demon monarch seemed to be restricted, unable to fully utilize his true power without a body. To deal with the heavenly desire demon monarch, they must first destroy Dai Mao's body. Besides Lu Youjiu, Yin Wanfei and Hala Three Rivers also took action. Yin Wanfei's aura burst forth, and behind him, a massive ox-head phantom emerged. Immediately following, the silver-white long spear in Yin Wanfei's hands was unleashed, striking towards Dai Mao, who was shrouded in the middle by the dark mist. And Hala Three Rivers also threw a few formation flags towards Dai Mao, intending to trap him. However, whether it was Yin Wanfei's long spear or Hala Three Rivers formation flags, none could get close to Dai Mao, as they were frozen in place, unable to move. Even the sword energy from Lu Youjiu was pinched and obliterated by a hand extended from Dai Mao, then dissipated into nothingness. By now, the heavenly desire demon monarch had gained control over Dai Mao's body and was probably close to completing the possession. With just you few trying to ambush me at this moment, you are really overestimating yourselves. Once the possession is complete, your doom will come. Not one of you will be able to escape. The heavenly desire demon monarch was far too powerful. With their cultivation, they could not affect him at all. However, just then, Lin Jing took action. The reason Lin Jing was slower to act than Lu Youjiu and the others was because, until just now, he had finally realized what exactly was in that black demonic chi transformed by the heavenly desire demon monarch. It was a spell, akin to a 5 elements divine light. Moreover, this spell was extremely powerful, even more so than the aura of the heavenly desire demon monarch itself. And, after witnessing the failed attacks of Lu Youjiu and the others, Lin Jing knew that with his attack, he definitely would have no effect just like the others. And this heavenly desire demon monarch was too powerful. Therefore, after sensing the spell that shared the same origin as the 5 elements divine art, Lin Jing decided to take a risk. If he could trigger the explosion of the 5 elements divine art spell that lingered within the demonic chi of the heavenly desire demon monarch, then even if the demon lord did not die, he would be severely injured. So, after a brief contemplation, Lin Jing charged forward directly. He wanted to control the spell in the black fog that originated from the 5 elements divine art, so he needed to get close to the heavenly desired demon monarch. Only by getting closer could Lin Jing better seize control. However, just as Lin Jing charged forward, that heavenly desired demon monarch let out a cold sneer. "Oomph. Overestimating your own abilities, a mere body refinement cultivator rushing at me alone, I see you've grown tired of living. Once I completely take over Dai Mao's body, you'll be the first one I devour." Upon witnessing Lin Jing's action, Lu Youjiu, Yin Wanfei, and Hala 3 Rivers all changed their expressions drastically. "Brother Lin, Lin Daoyu, Brother Lin, you must not." All 3 called out at the same time. Nevertheless, Lin Jing did not stop. Soon, as he was about to approach Dai Mao, Lin Jing suddenly stopped. At this moment, all the black demonic chi had entered Dai Mao's body, and his eyes had returned to normal. Even his gaze was gradually becoming calm. Lin Jing knew that the heavenly desire demon lord was close to successfully seizing the body. At that moment, the demon lord looked at him with disdain and sneered coldly. Without any hesitation, Lin Jing immediately circulated the immortal 5 elements technique and then stimulated the 5 elements divine art, attacking the heavenly desire demon monarch. When the demon lord saw the appearance of the colorful lights, he was first stunned, and then his eyes filled with terror. 5 elements divine art. 5 elements? How could you possibly know the 5 elements? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. The heavenly desire demon monarch seemed to be greatly agitated, repeating these words over and over, his voice becoming increasingly shrill. After Lin Jing activated the immortal 5 elements technique, he clearly felt the familiar spell within Dai Mao's body. It was indeed the remnants of the 5 elements divine art. It was very possible that this heavenly desire demon lord had encountered someone who had cultivated the 5 elements divine art and sealed them. As Lin Jing employed the 5 elements divine art and the 5 elements divine light appeared, he distinctly felt the leftover 5 elements divine art begin to stir inside Dai Mao's body. The heavenly desired demon lord, seeing the divine light, was so frightened that he forgot to defend and hurriedly tried to control Dai Mao's body, which he had not yet fully seized, to flee. However, Lin Jing had no intention of letting him go. As the 5 elements divine light merged with the aura of the 5 elements divine art in the gray fog, Lin Jing discovered that he could actually temporarily control the group of 5 elements divine light. And the heavenly desire demon monarch realized this as well. He immediately screamed in panic. Impossible! How can you control the spell he left behind?" When the heavenly desire demon monarch felt the 5 elements divine art spell in the gray fog beginning to move, he instantly understood Lin Jing's intention and frantically exclaimed, "What are you going to do, no?" Nevertheless, without any hesitation, Lin Jing simply uttered a single word: "Explode." Immediately, the 5 elements divine art spell inside Dai Mao's body erupted. Countless rays of colorful light burst forth from Dai Mao's body. Although Dai Mao's body was not completely shattered by the explosion, it was almost there, and Dai Mao's blasted open body also revealed the true form of the heavenly desire demon monarch inside, which was the cluster of black demonic chi. At this point, the black demonic chi had become incredibly tenuous, almost transparent. The power of this 5 elements divine art spell was truly terrifying. At that moment, the previously scattered black demonic chi began to coalesce once again. Lin Jing's brow furrowed, and as he prepared to employ the 5 elements divine art once more, he saw the black fog, along with Dai Mao's battered body, vanish directly. You all wait. Once I have fully recovered, I will exterminate you all. Just then, several people turned around and looked in the direction from which the voice came. They saw the heavenly desired demon monarch had already appeared on the edge of Lian Island, far away from them. Just as they were about to pursue, the demon monarch had disappeared. Only his last words floated in the air. And that kid who cultivates the 5 elements divine art, someday, I will make you wish you were dead. After the heavenly desire demon monarch left, those who remained looked at each other. Soon, they gathered together. Yin Wanfei then spoke. Brother Jiu, what should we do next? Lu Youjiu looked in the direction the demon monarch had fled, his brow furrowed. Having the demon escape was the last thing they wanted. Yet even with their combined cultivation, they were no match for the heavenly desire demon monarch. This is becoming troublesome. Hala 3 Rivers also spoke at this time. Lu Youjiu then said to the others, we need to discuss this properly now. Okay, everyone nodded. At that moment, Lin Jing thought of the 2 little girls he had placed on another island and spoke. I'll go get those 2 young ladies and bring them back. Lu Youjiu nodded. Soon, Lin Jing and Yin Wanfei arrived at the island where the 2 little girls were. Before the 2 could even land, the frightened girls immediately hid, then peeked out from behind the trees, watching cautiously. Only when they saw that it was them did the 2 girls run out and throw themselves at Yin Wanfei. The 2 of them clung to Yin Wanfei, unwilling to let go. Seeing this, Lin Jing couldn't help but smile wryly. He fully understood the little girl's actions. After all, it could be said that Yin Wanfei had saved them, and the 3 of them had spent a few days together. It was Yin Wanfei himself who actually felt a bit embarrassed. Afterward, Lin Jing and Yin Wanfei took the 2 little girls with them and left the island. By the time they got back to Lian Island, Lu Youjiu and Hala 3 Rivers had already settled everything there. When they returned, several Foundation establishment cultivators came to greet them. The one at the forefront was a middle-aged beauty who still carried the charm of her younger days. Approaching Lin Jing and the others, she clasped her hands and said, we greet the 2 Vice Island Lords. Lin Jing was instantly bewildered. He wondered how he had suddenly become a Vice Island Lord. At this moment, Hala 3 Rivers spoke up to explain to Lin Jing. These people were originally the native cultivators of Lian Island, living on this island before it was occupied by Dai Mao. Calling you Island Lords is an unwritten rule that has always existed in the Thousand Islands domain. In the Thousand Islands domain, there are many islands, but they have always been without formal governance. Anyone with enough strength can take over an island and declare themselves Island Master. And this title of Island Master is not fixed. If a cultivator leaves for too long, is defeated, or dies, then naturally, the island they occupied will cease to belong to them. If the victors are willing, they can directly take the island as their territory and become the new island master. If they're not willing, then the island will revert to being ownerless. After hearing Hala 3 Rivers' explanation, Lin Jing immediately understood. I see. So from now on, we're to be the island masters of Lian Island? Lin Jing asked, puzzled. But Hala 3 Rivers shook his head with a helpless expression and said, this is only a temporary measure. At that moment, Lu Youjiu also spoke up. Good timing. Now that you 2 are back, we can discuss some matters together. Following that, at Lu Youjiu's instruction, Yin Wanfei handed the 2 little girls over to the middle-aged beauty to look after. Then the group, led by one of the island's Foundation establishment cultivators, made their way to a majestic hall. The hall was truly large, and all the furnishings inside were of considerable value. The Foundation establishment cultivator told them that this hall was created by Dai Mao's subordinates. After entering, Knowing that Lin Jing and the others were there to hold a meeting, the local foundation establishment cultivators promptly withdrew. Then, Hala Three Rivers acted immediately, raising a grand formation that enveloped the entire room. Once everything was prepared and everyone was seated, Lu Youjiu began to speak. Today, you must all have witnessed the heavenly desire demon monarch strength. He is likely in the nascent soul stage, and not just an ordinary nascent soul at that. At the very least, he possesses the cultivation of the late nascent soul stage or the nascent soul peak stage. Now that the heavenly desire demon monarch has escaped, it is not good news for us. Once his injuries heal, he will probably seek revenge. As he said this, Lu Youjiu turned to look at Lin Jing. Brother Lin, how exactly did you manage to severely injure the heavenly desire demon monarch today? Yin Wanfei's face was also full of curiosity as he looked toward Lin Jing, saying, "Yeah, Brother Lin, you don't know. You really shocked me, rushing directly at the heavenly desire demon monarch. I thought you were about to do something foolish, like attacking with your fists. I was really startled at the time, and I almost rushed up to save you. But what you did next? With a single spell, the heavenly desire demon monarch was severely wounded. Had he not escaped so swiftly, I reckon we would have captured him." With that, Yin Wanfei's eyes shone brightly as he looked at Lin Jing, like a young calf eager for knowledge. "Brother Lin, please tell me, how did you manage to do that?" Not just Yin Wanfei, but Lu Youjiu and Hala Three Rivers as well leaned forward attentively, clearly very interested in the matter. Lin Jing nodded and then said, "The reason for this is because of the cultivation technique I practice." Speaking, Lin Jing used the 5 elements divine art to condense a stream of Wu Tsai lights, letting them revolve continuously around his fingertips. After a moment, Lin Jing retracted the 5 elements divine art. Then he said to the 3, "The heavenly desire demon monarch must have been sealed by someone who also cultivated the 5 elements divine art prior to this. Moreover, that person left behind a spell synonymous with the 5 elements divine art on his body to suppress the heavenly desire demon monarch. I indeed felt that spell, which is why I thought to use my own 5 elements divine art to detonate the spell within him that shared the same origin as the 5 elements divine art. Originally, I just wanted to try it out, but unexpectedly, it actually worked." After listening to Lin Jing's narration, Yin Wanfei became excited and quickly said, "Brother Lin, your 5 elements divine art is so extraordinary. That heavenly desire demon monarch just took 1 hit and nearly suffered a severe injury that left him close to death. That's too incredible." Lin Jing then helplessly spread his hands. "This spell is from our predecessors. If I were to use the 5 elements divine art myself, I probably wouldn't even scratch his fur." Yin Wanfei was speechless for a moment. Meanwhile, after pondering for a while, Hala Three Rivers suddenly spoke up. 5 elements. While reviewing ancient texts before, I seem to have come across mentions of a cultivator in the Thousand Islands domain who was proficient in 5 elements spells a long time ago. However, it's been too long, and not much record of him has been left. And that heavenly desired demon monarch, it seems he may have been sealed for some time because I've never heard of him before either. Following that, there was a moment of silence. After a while, Lu Youjiu spoke up, continuing to say, "Regarding what the heavenly desire demon monarch said, I'm sure you all heard. He definitely won't let things rest, and as soon as he fully recovers, he will surely come to trouble us. Do you have any thoughts?" After speaking, Lu Youjiu looked toward Lin Jing and Yin Wanfei, though, of course, his gaze primarily rested on Lin Jing. No sooner had Lu Youjiu's words fallen than Yin Wanfei blurted out, "Brother Ji, you think too highly of me. What ideas could I have? If that heavenly desire demon monarch dares to come, then we just have to face him." Everyone expected no different from Yin Wanfei's response. Lin Jing, after pondering for a moment, looked at Lu Youjiu and asked, "Do you know how long it might take that heavenly desire demon monarch to recover?" Lu Youjiu thought for a moment, then replied, "Previously he transformed into black demonic qi, originally in a state without a body, just a soul spirit. Afterward, you detonated the 5-element spell remnants within the gray mist, so he's been significantly injured. Even his soul spirit is damaged. To fully recover, even at the fastest, it will take a few years. If it's slower, it might even take decades or a century. And another thing, his divine sense is simply too strong, unlike anything a nascent soul cultivator should possess. I highly suspect that before this, he might have been a divine transformation cultivator. It's just that someone used some special means to make his cultivation fall to the nascent soul realm. Upon hearing Lu Youjiu's words, Lin Jing's brow furrowed, and he murmured, "Divine transformation cultivator." If it was indeed a divine transformation cultivator, then they were likely all in a difficult situation. "Are you certain?" Lin Jing lifted his head and looked at Lu Youjiu. Lu Youjiu shook his head and said, "It's just a guess. We still need to verify it. If we can find the records of that heavenly desire demon monarch's life, that would be even better." Lin Jing nodded his head. A suspected divinity transformation stage nascent soul cultivator, even having disappeared for many years, would still be relatively easy to investigate. Afterward, Lin Jing looked at Lu Youjiu and Hala 3 Rivers and asked again, "Brother Lu, Brother San, what are your thoughts for what we should do next?" Previously, Lu Youjiu asked the two of them to discuss matters, implying that he and Hala 3 Rivers had already talked. Lu Youjiu then spoke. "Actually, before you two returned, San he and I had already had a discussion. We called you here so that we could all discuss together and see if you had any better suggestions. Also, since we are all in the same boat now, as long as the heavenly desire demon monarch is not dealt with, we will always face a threat. Therefore, we need to unite in order to stand against the heavenly desire demon monarch." Lin Jing nodded in agreement after hearing that. Lu Youjiu was right. As long as the heavenly desire demon monarch remained a threat, they were always in danger. Yin Wanfei then stood up to express his stance. "Brother Ji, just tell me what to do, and I will obey your orders. Even if you ask me to slay the heavenly desire demon monarch himself, I won't even frown." Lu Youjiu, undiplomatically, said directly to Yin Wanfei, "Right now, you just need to sit tight and listen. When it's time for you to do something, I will naturally arrange it." "Oh, all right." Yin Wanfei immediately sat down obediently. Lin Jing also spoke up to show his agreement. "Brother Lu is right. With the threat of the heavenly desire demon monarch, if we are split apart, we're likely to face more danger." Lu Youjiu nodded slightly, then continued. "So before you came back, San he and I discussed and decided to take over Liyin Island right away, then get ready to face the heavenly desire demon monarch. Claiming Liyin Island, is there any particular reason for that?" Lin Jing then asked. After speaking, he also expressed his own opinion. "I think that we would be somewhat safer within Bihai City." Yin Wanfei, after listening, immediately agreed. "I also think that staying in Bihai City is safer." Lu Youjiu nodded and said, "Brother Lin is right. Bihai City is indeed safe. However, we can't always hide within Bihai City. If we want to eliminate the threat from the heavenly desire demon monarch, I believe we should take the initiative." "Take the initiative?" Lin Jing murmured thoughtfully upon hearing this. Afterward, Lu Youjiu continued speaking. "Actually, there's one more thing which I haven't told you all about yet." "Brother Ji, what is it?" Yin Wanfei asked with curiosity. Lin Jing also looked up at Lu Youjiu. Lu Youjiu then said, "After this great battle, I've had some insights. I estimate that it won't be long before I can break through to the Golden Core Peak. Once I enter the Golden Core stage, I want to try and make a breakthrough to the nascent soul realm in the following days. And as for San He, the 5th rank trap-killing formation on this island is perfect for him to study, as our mission is already complete. Once San He gets hold of that formation commentary, he can also try to break through to a 5th rank array master. Once San He reaches a 5th rank array master, he'll be able to set up a 5th rank formation. By then, even if the heavenly desire demon monarch comes, we won't have to fear. And I, after advancing to the nascent soul realm. Want to find him before he fully recovers and get rid of him, thereby removing our concerns once and for all. What do you all think? Lu Youjiu's words did make sense. Occupying Liyan Island, Hala Three Rivers can study this 5th-rank trap-killing formation. Furthermore, Lu Youjiu needs this time to attempt breaking through to the nascent soul realm. If they keep running around as before, once the heavenly desire demon monarch fully recovers, they will no longer have any chance of survival. After listening, Lin Jing nodded and said, "If that's the case, it indeed could work. Instead of passively defending, we should take the offensive." However, just as Lin Jing finished speaking, Lu Youjiu immediately continued. "Now, there's another challenging matter." "What is it?" Yin Wanfei asked at this moment. "The Nirvana elixir." Seated to the side, Hala Three Rivers spoke directly. "To break through to the nascent soul realm, Brother Ji needs the Nirvana elixir. So, we both think that while the heavenly desire demon monarch is still recovering and it's relatively safe, I'll focus on studying the formation and Brother Ji will concentrate only on cultivating, aiming for a quick breakthrough. As for the two of you, it'll be more troublesome. You'll need to search for the materials required to concoct the Nirvana elixir. This naturally won't be a problem. It's just a matter of running errands, which Brother Yin and I can take care of." Yin Wanfei instantly agreed. Lin Jing also nodded, indicating his agreement. However, it was then that Yin Wanfei, as if suddenly recalling something, abruptly turned his head and looked at Lu Youjiu. "Right, Brother Ji. Haven't you been collecting the materials for concocting the Nirvana elixir? How goes the collection now?" Lu Youjiu then spoke. "The Nirvana elixir requires numerous materials. Up to now, I've already collected several rather rare spirit plants that are not commonly found in the market. Some are not hard to find and can even be directly bought, so those I haven't collected. All the above is not a problem. The key issue now is that I still lack a critical auxiliary herb for concocting the Nirvana elixir, the 1,000-spirit divine leaf. Besides that, the Nirvana flower, the indispensable main herb for concocting the Nirvana elixir, has also not been collected. Regarding the auxiliary herb, the 1,000-spirit divine leaf, we can just issue a mission in the Covenant Hall. Obtaining it shouldn't be too difficult. The main challenge lies in obtaining the main herb for the Nirvana elixir, the Nirvana flower. The Nirvana flower is something priceless. Even if we post a mission in the Covenant Hall, it's not guaranteed we can collect it." At this point, Hala Three Rivers suddenly spoke up, interrupting Lu Youjiu. "Additionally, there's another point. Even if we have the materials, we still need to find an alchemy master, at least a 4th grade. Alchemy master not easy to find? Doesn't Beihai City have them? If all else fails, we can ask the alchemical masters of the Longyun Elixir Pavilion to take action." Yin Wanfei commented nonchalantly. Hala Three Rivers then said, "Indeed, there are alchemy masters in Beihai City, but each of those people demands a high price. A high price would be acceptable, but their success rates are also a cause for concern. To entrust such crucial elixir medicine to them for concoction, I simply cannot be at ease. Moreover, even if they luckily succeed in concoction, they demand half of the elixir medicine as their fee, which is outrageously exploitative. As for the Longyun Elixir Pavilion, being an ancient alchemy path family, their success rates are naturally much higher. However, to have them concoct elixir medicine, you need to provide double the materials, using one set as their fee. Currently, we haven't even gathered a complete set of materials, let alone 2. "Ah, so that's how it is." Yin Wanfei frowned and said, "I had only heard that Beihai City had a 4th grade alchemist. I didn't expect it to be so troublesome. What should we do next?" Lu Youjiu spoke helplessly. "We can only do this. You all go and look for the materials. If we gather those materials, we'll find an alchemist from Beihai City to craft the Nirvana elixir. The success rate is low. Let it be lower then. It's still better than nothing. It's a pity that the rules of the Chongyun Elixir Pavilion are too rigid. If possible, Having a pill master from the Changyan Elixir Pavilion craft, it would greatly increase the chances of success. If we really can't gather the remaining materials, then I plan to force a breakthrough. Lu Youjiu had barely finished speaking when Hala Three Rivers and Yin Wanfei quickly objected. That won't do. Without the accumulation from the Nirvana elixir, forcing an advancement and invoking the heavenly tribulation would be too risky with a high failure rate. It's definitely not feasible. Besides, you haven't been accumulating for long, and your foundation isn't sufficient. Even more reason not to force the heavenly tribulation. Cough, cough. Just then, Lin Jing suddenly coughed twice. The three of them turned around, looking puzzled at Lin Jing. Brother Lin, what's wrong with you? Could it be that you're injured? Yin Wanfei asked with concern. Lin Jing looked at the three of them and then said, Actually, I'm a fourth-grade alchemist. Hearing Lin Jing's words, the three were momentarily stunned. You're fourth-grade alchemist. Lin Jing nodded and said, Yes, that's really wonderful. Now we don't have to worry about finding another pill master. Yin Wanfei was very excited. Hala Three Rivers then asked, May I ask, Brother Lin, since you advanced to a fourth-grade alchemist, how many batches of fourth-rank elixir medicines have you crafted? What's your success rate like? As Hala Three Rivers' words fell, Yin Wanfei eagerly asked, Yes, Brother Lin. How's your success rate? Previously, when I was in Bihai City, I met those fourth-grade alchemists, each bragging about how many batches of fourth-rank elixir medicines they have crafted, and their success rates were supposedly this and that. Each one tilted their noses to the sky, never looking people in the eye, nearly infuriating me to death. If it hadn't been Bihai City, I would definitely have given them a thrashing. Lin Jing had also spent several days in Bihai City and naturally paid attention to those fourth-grade alchemists, knowing their arrogance in Bihai City. There was no helping it. After all, they were fourth-grade alchemists. Back in Nanming Immortal City, there was only one fourth-grade alchemist, the old master from the Li family. While Bihai City was much larger than Nanshan Immortal City had been and high-grade materials were easier to obtain, the number of fourth-grade alchemists was still not large. In the entire Bihai City, they totaled no more than 5. Facing the gazes of the three, Lin Jing also felt somewhat embarrassed. Well, it's been some time since I advanced to a fourth-grade alchemist, but due to limited conditions, I have never crafted a batch of fourth-rank elixir medicines. What Lin Jing said was the truth. On his own, collecting those fourth-rank spirit plants was exceedingly difficult, even though his proficiency was sufficient to elevate himself to the level of a fourth-grade alchemist. Yet, he still hadn't crafted even a single batch of fourth-rank elixir medicines. Although he had never crafted fourth-rank elixir medicines, Lin Jing believed that even without the enhancement of the system's alchemy room, his success rate for crafting fourth-rank elixir medicines would definitely be far stronger than those of the fourth-grade alchemists in Bihai City. Not to mention, he had the additional success rate boost from the alchemy room. Lin Jing's words left Lu Youjiu and the other two feeling somewhat disheartened. Yin Wanfei's face showed a tinge of regret as he said, Brother Lin, it's not that I don't believe you, but you've never crafted even one batch of fourth-rank elixir medicines. The elixir medicine we are trying to craft this time is the Nirvana elixir, which is among the most difficult to make within fourth-rank elixir medicines. I'm afraid you really can't guarantee success. After speaking, Yin Wanfei turned his head and addressed Lu Youjiu and Hala Three Rivers. I think we should find someone else. If not, we can offer a large sum of money and see if we can make arrangements with someone from the Changyan Elixir Pavilion. This time, Lu Youjiu and Hala Three Rivers, unusually agreeing with Yin Wanfei's suggestion. The scene left Lin Jing speechless, as not a single person trusted him. However, according to their thinking, there was indeed no mistake. A fourth-grade alchemist who had never crafted a single batch of fourth-rank elixir medicines. How could they be trusted? After all, they didn't know that Lin Jing was a descendant of the Lin family, a lineage from the ancient alchemy path, and that he possessed a heaven-defying object like the system. This matter was of great importance, and even tied to Lin Jing's very life. Entrusting the crafting of the elixir medicine to others, Lin Jing truly couldn't be at ease. Even if it was the Changyun Elixir Pavilion, another lineage from the ancient alchemy path, it was the same. He must craft the elixir medicine himself. And since the three of them didn't trust him, Lin Jing thought that if he continued to hide his abilities, it would seem unreasonable. Now, he had to make a stand. Subsequently, Lin Jing took out a pure jade box from his storage bag and placed it on the table in front of the group. The three people who had been discussing which fourth-grade alchemist to choose were immediately drawn to Lin Jing's action. When they saw the pure jade box that Lin Jing placed on the table, their gazes were instantly captivated and couldn't be shifted away. Lin Jing, on the other hand, wore a faint smile as he watched the three who were engrossed by the elixir medicine within the pure jade box. Next, Yin Wanfei, with his quick eyes and hands, snatched the pure jade box and brought it in front of him. Third-rank elixir medicine, the spirit-enhancing pill. Moreover, this is a pure spirit-enhancing pill. Holding the pure jade box, Yin Wanfei couldn't peel his eyes away from the spirit-enhancing pill inside. At that moment, Lu Youjiu snatched the pure jade box from Yin Wanfei's hands and began to examine it closely. Although Yin Wanfei was reluctant, he didn't dare to show anger or speak out against Lu Youjiu, and could only lean in to observe as well. Moments later, after the group finished their examination, they looked up incredulously at Lin Jing and asked, "Did you refine this?" Lin Jing nodded and said yes. At this point, Yin Wanfei, looking at the pure elixir medicine in Lu Youjiu's hand, couldn't help but exclaim, "This is a pure, spirit-enhancing pill. I've only seen it once before in the Changyun Elixir Pavilion." At that time, Lu Youjiu turned to Lin Jing with great seriousness and asked, "Can you really refine a nirvana elixir?" Lin Jing then spoke, "Although I have never refined one before, I believe that if I were to do it, it should be no worse than those fourth-grade alchemists from Beihai City." "Holy moly! Really? Brother Lin, is your alchemy technique that impressive?" Yin Wanfei immediately became interested and hastily inquired. Lin Jing didn't answer, but instead looked towards Lu Youjiu. Lu Youjiu was also looking at Lin Jing, and, seeing the firmness in Lin Jing's eyes, he didn't seem to be lying. Afterward, Lu Youjiu lowered his head, deep in thought, until a moment later, when Lu Youjiu raised his head again and said to Lin Jing, "All right, this time, I'll leave the alchemy to you, Brother Lin. Is there anything you're still lacking for the alchemy, Brother Lin? I will find a way to get it for you." Lin Jing pondered for a moment, then said, "I won't hide it from Brother Lu. If I want to refine a fourth-rank elixir medicine, I'm still missing a suitable pill furnace and the elixir recipe for the Nirvana elixir. My pill furnace is fine for refining third-rank elixir medicines, but for fourth-rank ones, it may not withstand the process. Aside from that, I also need some alchemy ingredients for practice. They don't have to be fourth-rank. Second or third-rank materials will suffice." After hearing Lin Jing's request, Lu Youjiu nodded and said, "Alchemy ingredients are easy to deal with. The recipe for the Nirvana elixir can be obtained through the Seven Seas Hall, so that's not a problem. It's just the pill furnace." At this point, Lu Youjiu paused for a moment before continuing, "I'll find a way. You don't have to worry about it. Just focus on refining your elixir medicine." After speaking, Lu Youjiu turned to Yin Wanfei and said, "Nio-san, bring out the storage bag you acquired from those two golden core cultivators, one tall and one short." "All right, Brother Jiu," Yin Wanfei replied, then took two storage bags from his body and handed them to Lu Youjiu. Lu Youjiu reached out to receive them, opened the storage bags, and inspected them. After the inspection, Lu Youjiu set one of the storage bags aside. Next, he took out two more storage bags from his own body, and along with the one from before, handed a total of 3 storage bags to Lin Jing. "Brother Lu, what is this?" Lin Jing asked with curiosity. "These are all alchemy ingredients. Take them," Lu Youjiu said. Lin Jing accepted the storage bags, opened them, and let his divine sense probe inside. He found out that, indeed, as Lu Youjiu had said, These storage bags contained alchemy ingredients. Most of these materials were second rank, and there were also some third rank ingredients, but they were few and far between. Then, Lin Jing checked all 3 storage bags one by one. Finally, in the third storage bag, he found some truly good items. This third storage bag was the one Yin Wanfei had earlier given to Lu Youjiu. Inside this storage bag, there was a substantial amount of third-rank spirit plants, even enough to refine several furnaces of third-rank elixir medicines. There was even a complete set of ingredients for refining a cultivation true elixir. Besides that, aside from spirit stones, there was a pill furnace and some jade slips and books. And all these jade slips and books were related to alchemy. Clearly, the owner of this storage bag was also an alchemist. After examining the storage bag with his divine sense, Lin Jing looked up at Lu Youjiu and said, "Brother Lu, the owner of this storage bag was an alchemist. I wonder how good his pill furnace is." Lu Youjiu shook his head and replied, "When you two went to pick up those 2 little girls, we already found out. That tall golden core cultivator was an alchemist, but he was just a third-grade alchemist. His pill furnace doesn't seem very impressive, and I'm afraid it might not meet your requirements for refining 4th-rank elixir medicines. So that's how it is." Lin Jing sighed, clearly somewhat disappointed. Lu Youjiu then added, "Actually, after we finish discussing in a while, you could take a look at it yourself. After all, I haven't seen it with my own eyes." Lin Jing nodded and said, "All right, I'll have a look later." Lu Youjiu nodded and continued, "You really don't need to worry about the pill furnace, Brother Lin. Leave it to me." Lu Youjiu was full of confidence. However, at this moment, Hala 3 Rivers spoke up. "Are you planning to look for him?" Lu Youjiu nodded and said yes. Then he fell silent for a while before speaking. "Now, we can only turn to him." After hearing what Lu Youjiu had said, Sanhe immediately fell silent. The conversation between the 2 left Lin Jing completely confused. Even Yin Wanfei next to them was utterly baffled. "Who exactly are you talking about?" Lu Youjiu glared at Yin Wanfei. "Do your own thing. Don't nose into others' business." It must be said that Yin Wanfei was terrified of Lu Youjiu down to his bones. With that glare, Yin Wanfei immediately stopped talking and sat there obediently. Then, Lu Youjiu continued to instruct Yin Wanfei. "Niu San, Lin brother, needs to do alchemy, so the task of searching for other materials will be left to you, along with the materials Sanhe needs for formations. Collect those as well. Later, I will give you all my spirit stones. Whatever Lin brother and Sanhe need, don't be stingy, just buy it. And my spirit stones will be handed to you as well," Sanhe also said at this time. Lin Jing also made his position clear. "I have some spirit stones here too." However, Lin Jing was interrupted by Lu Youjiu before he could finish. "Lin brother, there's no need. Our spirit stones were all earned by the 3 of us working on tasks together. There's no distinction between whose is whose. Your spirit stones were hard-earned by yourself, so just keep them." Yin Wanfei also said at that moment, "That's right, Lin brother. Keep your spirit stones for yourself. If we really don't have enough when it comes time to purchase the Nirvana flower, then we'll come to you to borrow some." Lu Youjiu also nodded and said, "Nio-san is right. Although we've earned a fair amount of spirit stones, acquiring a Nirvana flower might still stretch us thin. At that time, we might indeed need to trouble Lin brother." At this point, Lin Jing spoke up. "Actually, it doesn't need to be so troublesome." The 3 of them then all looked at Lin Jing with confusion, not understanding what he meant. Immediately thereafter, Lin Jing reached into his storage bag and took out a spirit-quelling box from inside, placing it in front of everyone. The group stared at the spirit-quelling box and then back at Lin Jing, not comprehending. Lin Jing then gestured for them to open it. Although puzzled, Lu Youjiu, trusting in Lin Jing, reached forward and opened the spirit-quelling box. The moment the spirit-quelling box was opened, both Lu Youjiu and Sanhe were left dumbfounded and frozen in place. Since Yin Wanfei was facing the other 2, he hadn't seen what was inside the box. Seeing Lu Youjiu and Sanhe's stunned faces, he couldn't help but grow curious. "What in the world is it that has both of you making such faces?" While speaking, Yin Wanfei leaned over to look inside the spirit-quelling box. Once he saw what was inside, he too was left as stunned as the other two, motionless. It was only after a long while that they came back to their senses. The most excited was Yin Wanfei. This. What have I seen? This is a nirvana flower. Having said this, Yin Wanfei, face flushed with excitement, walked over and embraced Lin Jing. Lin Jing quickly dodged, admonishing Yin Wanfei. Brother Niu, please behave, I'm not into that. Still caught up in his excitement, Yin Wanfei paid no heed to Lin Jing's mention of that, or to Lin Jing evading him, and continued passionately. My goodness, Lin brother, you're incredible. When did you get the nirvana flower? Why didn't you give old Niu a heads up? This really has taken me by surprise. At this point, even Lu Youjiu and San he looked up at Lin Jing. Lin brother, where did you get this nirvana flower from? Lin Jing then said. To start off, this should probably be considered as something I obtained from an enemy. Following that, Yin Wanfei excitedly said to Lu Youjiu, Brother Ju, with this nirvana flower, a nirvana elixir isn't far off. Lu Youjiu nodded and said, Indeed. After speaking, Lu Youjiu looked at the nirvana flower on the table and then said to Lin Jing, Lin brother, you must be aware of the value of this nirvana flower. I can't just take advantage of it like this. What would you like in return for it? Lin Jing waved his hand and said, Lu brother, you are being too formal. We few are all in the same boat now. What matters most is getting past the heavenly desire, demon monarch. Let's not talk about compensation. Lu brother, you had better ascend to nascent soul soon and deal with the heavenly desire, demon monarch. That's the main concern. After hearing Lin Jing's words, everyone fell into silence for a while. Indeed, as Lin Jing said, the heavenly desire, demon monarch, now loomed over them all like a looming mountain. Then, after a moment of contemplation, Lu Youjiu said, All right, Lin brother speaks the truth. Now is indeed not the time to speak of other matters. After he finished speaking, Lu Youjiu reached out, pulled several spirit-quelling boxes from his space ring, and handed them, along with the nirvana flower, to Lin Jing. He then said to Lin Jing, Lin brother, since you're in charge of alchemy, I'll leave these materials for the nirvana elixir in your care. I'll have Niu-san collect any other materials you lack. Now that we have the nirvana flower, gathering the rest won't be difficult. Lin Jing looked up, met Lu Youjiu's sincere gaze, and nodded. Following that, Lin Jing also took out a small green jade bottle from his storage bag. He then pushed it, along with the pure jade box, towards Lu Youjiu. Lu brother, inside that bottle are 3 top-grade yuan-increasing pills, including the immaculate yuan-increasing pill, which should be sufficient for your use for the time being. Just focus on your cultivation for this period. Leave the elixir medicine to me. Lu Youjiu nodded, collecting the yuan-increasing pills, then spoke. With these elixir medicines, that will be enough. Taking these, I can shorten my cultivation time significantly. As for the rest, there's no need. However, Lin Jing shook his head and then turned to Yin Wanfei, saying, Yin brother, when you go to Bihai City to collect materials, if possible, gather materials for the Yellow Dragon Elixir and the Life-Dissipating Elixir. The Yellow Dragon Elixir is used for rapidly restoring spiritual power, and the Life-Dissipating Elixir for quickly healing injuries. Clearly, Lin Jing was preparing for Lu Youjiu's tribulation. Hearing this, Yin Wanfei patted his chest loudly and said, Brother Lin, leave the materials to old Niu. You just rest assured. Lin Jing then nodded his head. After that, the group discussed for a while, and before long, they had finished their discussions. Ultimately, the arrangements for what each person would do next had been set. Lu Youjiu would focus solely on breaking through in his cultivation. Hala Three Rivers would delve into research on formations, seeking to rapidly increase his formation cultivation. And Lin Jing would be responsible for alchemy. Only Yin Wanfei was left. His task was to help the others. For instance, the spirit plants needed by Lin Jing for alchemy and the materials needed by Hala Three Rivers for setting up formations would all require Yin Wanfei's procurement in Bihai City. After finalizing their plans, the group left the hall. Lu Youjiu immediately called over an original inhabitant cultivator of Lian Island. That is, a middle-aged, beautiful woman. Greetings to the island master and the 3 vice island lords. May I ask what instructions the island master has? The middle-aged woman came over, saluted respectfully, and then spoke. This middle-aged woman's cultivation wasn't too high, but she also possessed the cultivation of the later stage of foundation establishment. As an original cultivator resident of Lian Island, facing these golden core cultivators like Lin Jing and the others, she had no choice but to be respectful. This was also their accustomed way of survival. They couldn't help it. In a Thousand Islands domain, strength was revered. Even if they wanted to resist, with their weak strength, it would be futile. Lu Youjiu directly said to the middle-aged woman, "Didn't you say before that Dai Mao's subordinate alchemist had a dedicated alchemy room? Lead Lin Island Master over to that alchemy room now." Upon hearing Lu Youjiu's words, the middle-aged woman bowed deeply and said to him, "Island Master, the alchemy room is protected by a formation and requires a token to open." Lin Jing promptly took out a token and showed it to the middle-aged woman, then said, "The token is with me. Let's go." The middle-aged woman bowed and said to Lin Jing, "Lin Island Master, please follow me." And Lin Jing first turned to Lu Youjiu and said, "Lu brother, I'll go check out the alchemy room first. After that, we can go to Beihai City together." This was what they had just agreed upon. They were all to go to the temple this time to complete a task, and were planning to make use of the opportunity to procure more alchemy materials. After speaking, Lin Jing promptly followed the middle-aged woman and left the place, heading towards the back of Lian Island. Lian Island, in the entire Thousand Islands domain, wasn't considered a very large island, with the island being irregularly oval-shaped. The southern half of the island had relatively flat terrain, and most of it was used as the cultivator's residential area. There was even a small town constructed by the original cultivator residents and the ordinary people of the island. The central area, where Lin Jing and the others had just been discussing, was the palace built by Dai Mao after he occupied the island. Beyond, there was a range of hills that extended all the way to the northern edge of the island, forming steep cliffs. The alchemy room that Lin Jing was headed to was situated on one of these hills in the northern part of the island. The reason for this location was that the alchemist preferred quiet and didn't like to be disturbed, which is why he moved the alchemy room to the hill. There was also another factor. This hilly area was close to the spirit fields on Lian Island. Yes, spirit fields. Several spirit fields have been developed on Lian Island for cultivating low-grade spirit plants. Even in some southern parts of Lian Island, some spirit rice was also planted, attended to by those commoners, alongside a portion of cultivators. The spiritual energy of the demonic monster sea was much denser than that of the Nanming domain, allowing the cultivation of spirit plants on just about any piece of fallow land available. However, due to the scarcity of land in the demonic monster sea and the relatively high number of cultivators, even so, the price of low-grade spirit plants in the demonic monster sea remained expensive, even pricier than they had been in the Nanming domain. Lin Jing followed the middle-aged, beautiful woman, passing by the spirit field on their way towards the hills behind it. When crossing the spirit field, Lin Jing took a special moment to examine it closely. After a thorough inspection, Lin Jing determined that there was definitely an expert in the cultivation of spirit plants on the island, as each type of spirit plant was flourishing. Clearly, this was the result of meticulous care. Therefore, Lin Jing asked the middle-aged, beautiful woman, "May I know who is in charge of managing these spirit fields?" The middle-aged, beautiful woman then spoke up, saying to Lin Jing, "To answer the island master Lin, these spirit fields are indeed under my management." Lin Jing continued his questioning. "Are you skilled in the cultivation of spirit plants?" The middle-aged, beautiful woman bowed and said, replying to Island Master Lin, "I learned some from my father before, but I can only say I have a slight understanding. I wouldn't consider myself an expert." Lin Jing, observing the robust growth of various spirit plants before him, couldn't help but reevaluate the middle-aged, beautiful woman. The middle-aged, beautiful woman was truly being modest. It was no easy task to cultivate spirit plants to such a state on this island. With its complex weather conditions, something not just anyone could achieve. After observing for a while, Lin Jing continued to follow the middle-aged, beautiful woman up towards the hill. Atop the hill, they were halted by a formation. Lin Jing took out a token, placed it on the formation, which then opened, and both he and the middle-aged, beautiful woman walked in. As soon as they entered the formation, Lin Jing noticed that the area at the top of the hill was distinct from the bottom. Above the hill, the spiritual energy was even more abundant than below, and even the air seemed drier. Then, Lin Jing looked up and ahead. At the summit before them, there was a house, and beside it, a pill furnace room that was almost as large as the house itself. Next to the pill furnace room were 2 spirit fields, not very large in area. Within those spirit fields grew the biling flower, rock heartgrass, moon mulberry spirit fruit, washing spirit grass, among others. Several third-rank spirit plants flourishing inside. They were actually 2 plots capable of cultivating third-rank spirit plants, high-grade spirit fields. Lin Jing then went up to inspect these higher-level spirit fields. These third-rank spirit plants, like the lower-rank ones below, were also thriving. And these spirit plants were also being taken care of by the middle-aged, beautiful woman. It seemed evident that the middle-aged, beautiful woman was indeed highly proficient in the cultivation of spirit plants. Otherwise, Dai Mao's subordinates wouldn't have entrusted these spirit plants to her care so confidently. Afterward, Lin Jing asked for the middle-aged, beautiful woman's name. When he learned she was called Yuqi, he addressed her as Lady Qi. When Lin Jing and Lady Qi stepped into the pill furnace room, what first caught his eye was the massive pill furnace. Upon seeing the pill furnace, Lin Jing walked straight up and started checking it out. After his inspection, Lin Jing couldn't help but feel disappointed. The pill furnace was indeed, as Lu Youjiu had said, nothing special. Its material quality was even inferior to his own fire meteor 4-pattern furnace. Following that, Lin Jing surveyed the pill furnace room a bit more. However, in the end, he found nothing of interest. After inspecting the pill furnace room, Lin Jing entered the cabin to look around. It was a resting place with nothing inside. Subsequently, Lin Jing took Lady Qi down the hill to rendezvous with Youjiu and the others. Before long, half a month had passed. Half a month ago, they went to the Hall of Pacts, completed their task handover, then purchased some spirit plants for alchemy and materials needed for setting up formations before heading straight back to Liyan Island. However, one person was an exception. That was Lu Youjiu. In Bihai City, after the purchases were made, Lu Youjiu piloted the flying boat to send the others back to Liyan Island. He then directly drove the flying boat away, stating he was on a quest to find a suitable pill furnace for Lin Jing. That trip lasted half a month. Up until now, he hadn't returned. Meanwhile, Lin Jing and the others had become busy. Hala 3 Rivers spent his days in the square, studying the 5th-rank trap-killing formation. And Lin Jing had taken over the pill furnace room on the previously mentioned hill as his own territory. After all, that place was relatively quiet and free of disturbances. Yin Wanfei, besides cultivating, had also taken on the duty to defend the island. He didn't involve himself in the island's management. He left it entirely to Yu Qi and a few other original cultivators of Liyan Island. But this arrangement was for the better. If he had been managing, Lin Jing had no doubt. The entire Liyan Island would have inevitably become a complete mess.